Morning guys, it's 5 to 8 in the morning. I'm actually off for a work thing, as you can probably see. The plan is to go and win an award, and then I'm thinking maybe, as I'm already there, we could pop over to Asper's Casino and play a little bit of 1-2. Gonna go win an award and then I'll check back with you in a bit. Peace. Didn't win, so I'm already tilted. So we're here, we're at Asper's. There's a queue for the table of about 10 people. There's no spare dealers and nothing's happening. I've already been here about 20 minutes. Hopefully soon we'll have a seat and we'll actually show some hands. You didn't want to watch a video of me just complaining about not winning an award. You want to see some cards, right? So that's the goal. So stick with it, stay with me, and hopefully in 1 minute you'll be seeing some hands. Finally, we're playing some poker. So we sit down with £300, we're playing £1, £2, occasional £5 straddlers on, and we're about 10 minutes into the game and I'm dealt pocket nines. Nothing much has happened so far. I've lost a couple of small pots, so I've got about 285 in front of me. Under the gun +1. I raise to £7 and everybody folds. Sometimes poker is boring.
Boring shit, mate. That's what
Okay, on to the next one, and we again have lost a few pots, just like, trying to steal, little raises, nothing happening. So we've got a stack of 265 quid. We pick up sevens under the gun. I raise to 8. Under the gun +1 calls, and everyone else folds. We go to a flop of 8-8-4. Great flop for my hand. Obviously if you've got an 8 it's pretty unlucky, but we'll find out straight away. So just put out a C-bet, 12 quid, and he folds straight away. So nice and simple, just a little pick up. Okay, so a few more minutes have passed and I'm on the big blind and I pick up 8-10 of spades. Get 2 limpers, so I make it 8 quid to play, and both the small blind and the button come along to the flop. The flop's really good for my hand. It's 9 high, so it's 9-5-2 with 2 spades, giving me a flush draw. I bet 8 again, and the button does come along to look at the turn, and the small blind folds. Again, the turn's a good card for me again, bringing in a queen, offsuit of course, so I don't hit my flush, but I do pick up the gut shot as well. So I've now got the gut shot and the flush draw on the turn, so I pick up a little bit more equity. And I end up checking here, and the button makes it 15. I flat call there and go to the river. The river's a blank, don't hit my flush, don't hit my straight, and it just goes check, check, and he has ace queen off, so he floated the flop with 2 overs, obviously nailed it on the turn straight away, whilst also improving my hand slightly. Bit of a strange one, it's one hand I just did not put him on there at all. He limped off the button and then just flattered the tenor raise as well, so bit of a strange play by him, but worked for him in the end. Okay, a few more minutes have passed. Again, just lost a couple of little ones here and there, nothing to sort of write home about. And then we pick up ace king off in hijack. it folds to me, so I make it £6, and the button calls. The flop is good. It's 10 Jack King Rainbow. I bet £6. He folds a raggy ace high, so I'm ace 4, ace 5, something along those lines. So shame he didn't float for the £6 just on the flop there, as we could have built a little bit more of a pot. So again, just take it down straight away on the flop. Then the very next hand, I'm dealt ace queen under the gun +1. I raise it to £6. The hijack instantly makes it 26. He's actually done that once before earlier. It didn't make the vlog, but I'd done it with 4-5 of clubs, £6. He instantly made it 26, and I folded pre-flop. So interesting little dynamic to this hand straight away. So yeah, I've opened to 6. He's made it 26 immediately after me. It then folds back round to me, and I think about both options here. I'm obviously never folding, but I do decide whether to just call and go to see a flop or to bump it up again here. Generally speaking, the way I play, I'd rather play post-flop rather than really bloating the pot pre-flop. So I decided to just come along for a call and see what comes on the flop. The flop is ace 5-7 with 2 clubs. So overall, great board for my hand. I check and he bets £15, so it's slight down bet really. I call, feeling that now I'm either miles ahead or miles behind. Likelihood ahead. Perhaps he's got jacks or queens. He's putting out a little feeler bet with the overcard out there to see where he stands. Or, of course, I'm miles behind ace king. So, yeah, just call there and we go to see the turn. I'm really looking to see how he reacts when the turn card comes and how he acts on the next street to find out how strong I am compared to him. The turn's an offsuit 10 and it quickly goes check, check. So I'm now feeling good about my hand. I feel like I'm definitely ahead. The river's an offsuit 9, so the flush doesn't come in. I bet about half pot, so £37. And he does eventually fold, and he ends up showing an ace face up. So I can only assume it was either the same hand or ace jack. I'm not sure what else he instantly raises me with pre-flop other than ace jack, ace queen. Maybe like an ace 4 suited or something along those lines, perhaps, because obviously ace 5 he'd have flopped 2 pair, ace 9, ace 10, again both hitting 2 pair there. So there's not many combos of aces that should be sort of raising me pre-flop instantly. So yeah, I'm putting him on ace jack, which if he had ace jack there, that's a really strong, really good fold really for half pot. So yeah, didn't pick up as much as we could have done there, but at the same time, a reasonably sized pot without having sort of too much trouble. A little bit more time passes and we pick up aces. Whoop, whoop, in the big blind. In typical fashion, it folds all the way around to the small blind. He does make it a tenner. So I think about it for a moment, decide whether to sort of get a little bit tricky or just get some more chips in the pot straight away. I decide the latter. We've got aces, it's not rocket science. Let's get some money in the pot. So I make it 31 and he flicks in a call. The flop is brilliant for me. It's 9-9-7, really safe board. And to be honest, I expect all of his hands here to come along. So I bet £28, expecting him to float with ace king, ace queen, jacks, tens, whatever sort of hand he could have there. And he actually folds straight away. He says he had a big ace, which is, like I say, a really frustrating one because on that flop, unless he's just literally putting me on aces or kings there, it's a perfect flop for his hand as well, to at least come along and have a look at the turn card. So again, a little bit of a frustrating one that we didn't get a little bit more out of it, but always nice to win a pot. And again, the very next hand, we pick up king 6 suited in the small blind.
Is that a 5 straddle?
There's a £5 straddle on. It comes around to me and I decide to just limp here, and the small blind makes up as well, and the big blind checks, announcing, yeah, definitely. Now, that's instantly information. It shows that he doesn't have a strong hand, probably very unconnected, which does play a part in a moment as we go to the later streets. The flop becomes king 7 free rainbow. So it checks around. I'm actually still taking notes on the previous hand, so I should be betting this flop. I should actually probably donk bet this flop. So I was a little bit disappointed really, but I was sort of trying to do both things at once. It's not the easiest thing to do. So it checks round, and the turn comes a queen. Checks to the straddler, and he bets 8, and I call, and the small blind folds. The river is another queen. I check, and he now bets £30. He bets about pot. I think about this one for a while because what he said pre-flop, it's just sort of alarm bells are ringing really. He's either got a hand like Queen 4, Queen 5, you know, and got a bit lucky there, or he's looking for some thin value with a random 7. Now, I always, especially at these low stakes, £1, £2 games, especially in London, I just don't see people bluffing rivers. So the likelihood of it being thin value with a 7 is so small. But I really wanted to see if it was Queen 4, Queen 5. So I end up deciding on a call, and lo and behold, it was Queen 5.
I thought it might be
so
Queen 5
yeah,
or some shit.
30 quid to see that I was right. Maybe not the best decision, but hey ho, we move on. Then the very next hand, we pick up kings on the button. Under the gun makes it a tenner, and the cut-off calls. Great opportunity here. I've just lost the part. I was quite vocal about the hand as well. You know, I put you on that. I should have just folded. You know, I was sort of talking through it just as we were getting dealt the next hand. So I think great opportunity to raise straight away here. Hopefully it'll look a bit tilty. So I make it 42, and they both just snap fold. So again, a bit of a frustrating one. I expected at least one of them to come along to a flop. Again, so just picking up a sort of small one there. A little bit more time passes, and we pick up 8, 10 of spades again. This time we're under the gun. I raise to 8, and the big blind defends. The flop is 10, 7, 4, so quite a good flop for my hand, of course. And I see bet £8, and he just folds straight away. So again, not much action, but just one worth noting that, like I say, sometimes poker is very simple. Bet, hit top pair, bet, other player folds. Very simple stuff. Then a little while passes, and we pick up aces again. What's going on here? This is brilliant. Or is it? So this time we're on the button as well. Unbelievably, again, it actually folds to me. I make it £7, and the big blind defends. The flop comes down 10, 7, 5, and I see bet 11 quid. She calls, and the turn is a 9. She checks to me again, and I bet 21, and she quickly calls. Now, at this point, I'm not putting another penny in this pot unless an ace comes down or perhaps the board pairs. Yeah, I'm not sticking another penny in. It just stinks of 2 pair, even straights. It's just not good. When she's defending the big blind, this flop is just smashing her range. So yeah, hate it, to be honest. But I like how I've played it because so far I've controlled the pot, if that makes sense. So her checking the flop, me betting, meant she checked the turn, which led to me betting. And that then means she checks the river as well when the queen comes down, which allows me to quickly check behind, and yeah, she turns over 10, 7 of spades for a flop 2 pair. So I actually like how I played it overall. I actually think I probably lost the minimum by betting into the pot. If I check the flop, she bets the turn and bets the river, and then I'm in a tough spot. If I bet the flop, check the turn, she might bomb the river. So yeah, probably not loads, but I do feel like I probably saved a little bit of money by playing it the way that we played it. Always a frustrating one to have aces cracked. It's a real frustrating one when you're not really making any hands, not even made like 2 pairs so far, missed a couple of flush draws, missed a couple of straight draws, and then get your aces cracked as well. It's just a bit of a frustrating one, but we grind on, we keep going. So on to the next hand, we pick up pocket 8s and the hijack. I raise to 7, and the small blind calls. The flop is 9, 9, 5. Again, I bet 12, and she just folds straight away. So again, when we are picking up these little hands, we're not getting much money in the pot, so we're just winning the small ones. And then whenever there seems to be a big one, we're on the wrong end of it, which is again quite frustrating. So we keep going, we keep grinding. A little bit of time passes. And again, we pick up pocket 8s, this time in the low jack. I raise to £8. The hijack, the dealer, and the small blind all call. The flop is king jack 2. Under the gun, just snap donk £16, so I just fold straight away. I assume it's 2 pair, you know, perhaps king 2. suited, something like that, maybe even king jack, but yeah, just instantly dominates the flop, so we just get out of there and everybody else folds. A little bit more time passes, and I pick up ace king off on the button. Middle position raises to £10, and I decide to get tricky in position and just flat for £10, sort of hiding the strength of my hand, hoping to perhaps win a big one. This does then mean that the small and the big blind also come along, so there's about 40 quid in the pot as we go to the flop. And the flop comes king 5-2 with 2 clubs. It checks all the way around. Again, in hindsight, it should be better than that flop, especially in position, but it checks around. The turn is an 8. The small blind now leads £17. Big blind calls and the initial raiser folds, which is quite interesting. I'm now already a bit concerned I'm losing to either 2-pair, perhaps even a set. But obviously I'm way too strong to fold, especially the fact that I've sort of hidden the strength of my hand here. So I come along and we go to a river, which is an offsuit 9. The small blind now checks and the big blind now bets £25. Just the weirdest hand ever. So pre-flop aggressor folds. The small blind then leads the flop, but checks the turn, and then the big blind leads the, yeah, just a really, really strange hand. I'm not in love with it, but again, I've hidden the strength of my hand so much here. I just think it'd be madness to fold, so I flick in the call, at which point the small blind now makes it 79 quid. I already know what I'm doing. The big blind actually ends up tank calling, and I instantly just let it go. A bit frustratingly, but it is what it is. The small blind just turns over 6-7 and calls out nuts as he rivered a straight. It's a really interesting hand because I kind of hate everything about how I played it, but if I played it better, I'd have actually probably lost my stack. Because he had 6-7 clubs, he actually flopped the flush draw, turned the open-ended straight draw. So I think no matter how, if I played this hand more aggressively like I was meant to, I think I'd probably lose my stack because he's probably not. Maybe he folds pre-flop if I make it big enough. You know, if I make it 40 pre-flop, then he does probably fold. But you know, if I just make it sort of 20-25, there's a good chance he's coming along anyway, especially with the implied pot odds of the initial raiser. So yeah, interesting hand in the end. Disappointed with how I play it, but looking back, perhaps save me a bit of money in the long run as well. On to the next one. So the camera actually died, so I've had to switch to my phone now. And we wake up with Jack 9 offsuit on the button. It folds around to me, so I just make it 6 quid. And the flop is ace high. I see bet £8. So we've got ace 8-5 on the flop, and he comes along for a call. The turn's a 10, so that now gives me an open ender. It goes check check, and the river is a board pair and 5. It goes check check again, and we both tell each other that you're good. And it ends up actually win with Jack high here against 3-4 diamonds. So we're both on the straight draws, and yeah, luckily he didn't get there, and we just won a little small one there again. Moving on to the next hand, we've got ace jack of hearts under the gun +1. We make it £8, and both the hijack and the big blind call. The flops is 2-5-6 with 2 hearts. I see bet to £11, and just the hijack calls. The turn's an offsuit 9, and it quickly goes check check, and the river's a 10. It goes check check again, and she wins with ace 5, pairing her 5 on the flop. Frustrating to miss yet another flush draw. I just don't ever seem to hit my draws or hit big hands. It's just really frustrating, and it wrongly has affected my play a little bit because, especially as I'm trying to build my confidence at these levels. If I was playing, you know, a 1-1 home game or 25-50p home game or whatever, there's absolutely no way I'm checking the turn and checking the river there. I'm betting the flop, I'm betting the turn, and then I'm absolutely bombing the river. Now, if I did exactly the same thing in this hand, I win the pot. She probably just lets it go on the turn. So yeah, this is where it's really important to make sure that you're comfortable at the stage you're playing at and it doesn't affect your game. And that's something that I'm trying to learn as I'm going and learning on the fly. So we'll learn from it, we'll move on, and we'll just do better next time, because these are the pots where they won't be substantial, but winning these 30, 40 pound pots with no pair will make a big difference in the long run. And that's really, really important. So yeah, we live, we learn, and we'll move on to the next one. So penultimate hand of the night. We raise to £7 from the button with Queen 10 off, and the big blind depends. The flop is 4-5-8 offsuit, rainbow, and it just goes check, check. The turns are 9. She now bets £10, and I decide to float. I've got the 2 overs. I've just picked up the gut shot as well, so not a bad spot here. And the river's actually a 10, so I do hit top pair on the river. She checks, and I bet 36. I'm hoping to get a curious call from maybe an 8, but she quickly folds. And then on to the last hand of the session. So not much has been going my way. It's been a bit of a frustrating one, and we've got a train to catch. So unfortunately, yeah, not the longest session in the world. I've only been playing for a couple of hours, really. We're down about 125 quid at this point. It's got about 175 in the stack. So again, not ideal, but it is what it is. And we do a pot fold. So for anyone that doesn't know, pot fold is where you put everyone at the table that wants to take part puts in an amount of money. So in this case, it was £10. So we had 6 players. All 6 players put £10 in the pot. And then you are dealt an Omaha hand, in this case Omaha 6. So Omaha is where you can play with between 4 and 6 cards, and you always have to use 2 of the cards in your hand to make your 5 card hand with the community, the flop, the turn, the river. Okay, but you have to use 2 of your cards. So if there is 4 spades on the flop and you have 1 spade in your hand, you do not have a flush. Okay, you'd have to have 2 spades in your hand. So that's sort of how it differs slightly from Hold'em. It's a drawing game. I actually really enjoy it. Not so much with 6 cards, but I don't mind it in a pot fold element. So that's how the game works. So dealer deals out, and we're dealt 7, 7, 9, 10, Jack, Queen, 3 clubs, 2 diamonds, and a heart. So pretty fun hand for Omaha. It's what you'd call a wrap. There's lots of straight opportunities, a couple of suited options as well. So yeah, pretty fun hand. The flop comes down to 8-10. So we've got the wrap absolutely locked. Obviously, we're not winning right now, or we shouldn't be, with just the pair of 10s. But yeah, really, really good options. There is 2 hearts out, so obviously there's a good chance someone's going to be having the flush drawn. We've only got 1 blocker. Blockers. So yeah, the next stage of a pot fold is simply you put the amount of the pot in, or you fold, and then there's no further action. So it's 60 quid or nothing. Under the gun, put 60 quid in straight away, very quickly. So either a big flush draw, maybe top set, something like that. I stick the 60 quid in as well. Like I say, I'm nearly done for the night. This could get me out of the hole, and I've got the wrap absolutely locked, so it's kind of a no-brainer. And the button ends up calling as well. The turn is the 9 of hearts, so good card in that I hit my straight, and 2 pair. Bad card in that the flush comes in straight away. So again, pretty confident I'm not winning at the moment, and we need to get very lucky on the river, which, boom, we do. It comes down another 10, so the 10 of spades drops on the river, which gives me a backdoor full house. I turn it over straight away. I don't like to slow roll or make anyone take any time. So as soon as I notice what I've got, I turn it straight over, and it is the winner, of course. So nice way to end the night. That gets us out of the hole that we were in.
Session over, guys. So I'm now waiting for the train back to Norwich. Yeah, it's one of them sessions really. Pretty boring. Tried to get a few things going. Played a few hands badly that probably saved a stack. It's funny how that works sometimes. I think the takeaway from this is really just play bad, run bad, get lucky on a pot fold, win a little bit of money. So in for 300, out for 333. Woohoo! £33 of profit. We only played for a couple of hours. I was pretty tilted about the award, and then had to wait about an hour for a table, so that was pretty tilting too. Sat down, and then people kept leaving the table as well, which was weird, so it's just a bit of a weird dynamic. Yeah, lost with my big starting hands mainly, played a couple of them badly. That's a train! And then, yeah, just didn't hit anything. Out of memory, I don't think I even hit 2 pair. Just crazy. Missed a couple of flush draws, missed a couple, just nothing happened again. So it's just one of them days. Got lucky in the end with the pot fold. Yeah, so on to the next one. And thank you all for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, give me your opinions on the hands. I want to know what I did wrong. Come on guys, tell me. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy. Peace.